Hello everybody, Michael aka Victor here. Thank you for tuning in. I know there's a lot of attention or a lot of competition for your attention. So we'll do a quick recap. We're building something, we're building a foundation here. So we'll just recap where we were and I kind of tell you a little bit about my mission, the success of it, and where we're going. So as a recap, I am a physical being, but my essence is spiritual. So I am a spiritual being having a physical experience. So the whole game is for you to not know this and for you to act on your lower levels, your lower frequencies, your lower desires, and not access the higher aspects of yourself. So the whole idea of awakening is to gain access to these higher aspects of yourself and use those as your base. That's your foundation. This is who you are, and not this ego, this persona, this character that we're all playing. If you think about it, we're all playing a character. Like I'm playing a character that gets up here and does this kind of thing, and you're playing a character that happens to watch this now and then go off and do what you're doing. There's some characters that don't care about any of this. There's some characters that are very passionate about this. We're all playing characters, and this is a big theater on this planet, in this reality, in this matrix. And the thing is, in this flux, and it's interesting, I'll just say this, there's a lot of flux. This is a sheet of paper from my employer that allows me to go back and forth now because they shut down here where I am. And they're shutting down other things as well. But we're at a spot now where it's very close to martial law being in effect, and I do hear it's being enforced, the stay-at-home thing. But you got to understand, some of these powers, once they're taken, or once they're given through fear by us, we don't get those back, that privacy back, that liberty back. So just understand that they use this kind of tactic to gain more access and control. And when the situation is done, then they don't release that back. They keep a lot of that. But that's a different subject. But we're talking about your spiritual being having a human experience, right? Inside of this matrix. Alrighty? And this is the foundation that we're building for this new reality that's going to come out of this thing that we're in now. It's going to be based on this higher aspects of ourselves. So this is a new renaissance. This is a new age of enlightenment. And that's what that is. Now, that's the foundation that we're building. That foundation really wasn't in the reality that we just left, BC, before Corona. There was a lot of belief systems, there was a lot of self-image, self-doubt, all things dealing with this persona, character, ego. We didn't realize our connection with nature, we didn't realize our connection with other people. Sometimes it takes the absence of that to realize what you're missing. And we'll talk about that later. I'm trying to make this short. So we're getting into this foundation. So part of my foundation, because this is getting a little messy, is the 100-degree challenge, right? So as you see, and I'm trying to make these short, this is through years of research inside of this matrix. So I've been filming, like part of my mission was to incarnate here, awaken in this matrix, and film it, document it, to show you that it's possible. And my path does not equal your path. Your path is going to be different than mine, but just to show the possibility that this is possible. I'm not claiming to be anyone special. And this is also talked about in antiquity as well. So this is what Buddha talks about. This is what Jesus talks about when he says, the kingdom of heaven is here and now, the kingdom within. So this is the same thing that's talked about in religion and belief systems, but they also use those to say, well, that person accessed it, that person did it, but you can't, you're supposed to worship this, that, and the other. No, you have the same ability to access that same divinity inside. That's observer, right? That's what that I am is. So we're building a foundation on that, right? And I've done this for a while. The 100-degree challenge is the logic to get to that point. It's going backwards. So we're in this matrix here. We got all of this information, all of this data, and this is going backwards to get you to this point. So this is saying what you're not to leave what is left, what's possible. And I've showed this to a lot of people, I had a lot of comments. Most people are going to have issues around this 85 degrees due to religion and belief systems and stuff like that. But this isn't about religion or belief. This just talks about it and it moves on. It's just saying those things exist. We're just trying to see what exists, what is true. When I talk about a foundation, building it pixel by pixel, brick by brick, just like this image is built brick by brick. It's built bit by bit, 0 and 1. It's either true or it's false. You know, you either like it or you don't like it. The whole thing is I'm broadcasting what is true. You know, and the 100-degree challenge is challenging you to what is true. And I publicly challenge Kenny Shaw and P. Rowe to the 100-degree challenge. And I'm not picking on them. I just do that because they post publicly and they're spiritual people. And I just want them to take a look at the information. And I want you to do it too. Shoot holes in it. This is what I need. This is one of the next steps is to get people to look at this with all of these challenges out there. This is like the spiritual ice bucket challenge, the 100-degree challenge. It's going to eventually be a book, and we're going to just make just a small, it's just going to encapsulate the information, but I want it to be out for public review. And we have a little time to look at it. It doesn't take long. It's just, again, going backwards, right? So that's part of this foundation of truth. Like, this is true. We can prove this. This is the best evidence that we have. And if it changes, then we'll change this part of it, right? We're all going to be learning. But that's what I'm challenging other people to. I'm challenging you if you're seeing this, you know. I'm challenging TY. I'm challenging if you name Reese, if you name, who else is out there that I could challenge? If you name Quilo, if you name Bravo, if you name Cassadine, if you name Zebby, if you name Billy D, if you name SR, if you name LeBron James, right? So these are people that know me. And this challenge has nothing to do with ego. I'm just saying, you know, shoot holes in my theory to show me that it is not possible that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Very simple, all right? So that's the 100-degree challenge. I'm challenging you. And to accept the challenge, you just take the 100-degree challenge. You know, go to victorbain.com/100 and you just go through the slides. It's very simple. I actually have where you can Google right next to it, and you can see what you would come up with if you did your own search. So I'm using public sources for information. Now I'm going to condense it when it's right for the book, so it's not as redundant as it is now. But I'm just showing you that the information is not something that I'm pulling out of the air. But anyway, that's what that is. So the 100-degree challenge is there. And if you accept the challenge, take the challenge. And I just ask that you post on your social whatever that you took the challenge, and it's just possible. You're not saying you agree with anything or whatever. You're just saying, yeah, it is possible that this is true, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? So that's it. Hopefully this is understood. We're going to clear all this up and we're going to start fresh. But yeah, 0 and 1s are building this whole up. I'm just one pixel, right? Nobody special. But when one pixel shines, it just shows the possibility of shining, of this being true. And then the next pixel does it, and the next does it, and the next does it. And that changes the screen. So the screen is made of pixels. So we make up the screen, right? All righty, y'all. Peace.